Yo guys, this is Mike Hawkins and you're watching Toasted.
Hey, welcome to Amsterdam.
Thank you.
Here at Armada HQ.
It's quite nice.
I can imagine you have some big news, right?
Yeah, well, I'm launching a label together with Armada called Vaypor, and I think that's why we're here.
So first thing, why the name and how come the name?
Well, so it all comes from over the past couple of months, I've been really like getting into this sort of old school genre called Vaporwave, which is spelled differently, but it sort of describes music that is only popular and only cool for like a very short amount of time. And it also comes from the term vaporware, which was like software that companies used to develop back in the 90s, and which just it never saw the light of day. It never hit the market, and I thought it was a cool name.
Yeah, definitely cool, but why two projects that obviously failed?
I don't know, because it's like when you're an actor and you say go break a leg. I mean, maybe that's. I hope it works the same way for music.
The first thing that I thought was like, okay, vaping, like smoking with a pen.
Unfortunately, I'm sure. I mean, maybe we should launch a line of like vape pens with it.
Maybe you shouldn't. I think those things really suck. Hey, two releases already. Palance, the Gilder EP. I love that record. I think it's very atmospheric. It's almost ambient music.
Yeah, thank you a lot. I mean, I think that's the goal of what we're doing, is to try go as far and wide as we can and just bring a lot of quality and touch on these genres that haven't really been touched on before from larger labels.
This is probably, and maybe I'm wrong, but more or less music to put on when you're at home.
Yeah, it's quite right, and I think a majority of the music that we'll be releasing will be sort of music for the train or at home or the beach or whatever. I mean, I really enjoy club music, and I think that a lot of interesting genres came from club music, and I think that's kind of what we're trying to like dig into.
Another track that struck and stuck is a title. It starts with the vinyl noise. I love that.
Yeah, right. It's it fits with the name.
It does. But why the vinyl noise? I mean, will you actually release stuff on vinyl as well?
I don't know. I think if we're going by the whole 90s thing, we should be releasing on cassette.
Actually, some people do that now. You know this?
I noticed, and I think it's a cool trend. I was actually looking into this with the team not long ago. Finding ways to just put like a limited edition print on cassette.
It is possible.
Yeah.
There's a duo in somewhere in California, I think, and when the whole music market changed, apparently all the labels dropped all their rights to issuing cassettes, so they sold it really cheaply to those guys, and they have like the back catalog of all the bands and DJs and ever, and they're free to put it on cassette.
We're gonna do the same. Did you hear that, guys?
Great idea, actually. Hey, you have a new single out, Bad Blood, featuring Rafaela. Could you tell me a little about it?
Yeah, so it started with Rafaela writing the lyrics for Bad Blood, and they felt good. I mean, and her vocal performance, like how she wanted to sort of deliver the vocal, it just felt really good, I guess. And I wanted to try and do something now that we're doing Vapor that is that sort of adheres to the idea of doing music that's different than the rest out there, and I wanted to do something that was different than what I have been putting out. And a lot of my music has been very club oriented and very hard, and I wanted to try see what happens if I go to the studio with the purpose of doing something completely opposite, right? And Bad Blood haven't, and I feel pretty good about it. I feel like I succeeded at what I wanted to do, and I'm looking forward to see how it fares.
So you'll be branching out into pop music now?
I have no clue I don't even know what I'm gonna do when I come home today.
Is that really the case? Because I've been looking through your music on Spotify and been tracking your music back and listening to it, and the first track that I could find was Just Be You. 2011. You're laughing about it. I think that's actually a really good track.
Yeah, I'm laughing because it's fun to be reminded of like really old school stuff. But yeah, I mean, I guess I've been doing music for a long time. I started when I was 13 years old. So that's
There's a clear line, I think, in the development of your music, but there's some couple of stuff that you apparently like. It's like what I love is how you build up your tracks, and especially for Just Be You, the intro is very minimal with I think that special bass drum kick sound that you have there. It appears on and off on some singles that you produce.
Yeah, I found that the way to like sound, I guess the way to sound like yourself, a lot of people out there are like struggling to find sort of their own sound, and I found out the way to kind of do that, I guess, is to not try to sound like anything, because when you just go to the studio with an open mind and you want to do whatever you feel like doing, you have certain tendencies that pop through. So I'm not surprised, actually. I didn't realize it, but I think you're probably right that a lot of the same sort of production, I guess, songwriting ideas and techniques are recurring now.
So there's just like small ideas that stood out, and then I go like, hey, this is original, and then, you know, it's subtle, but it's there, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right.
Cool stuff. Hey, I've been going through your social media, of course. A picture I found of you flying a Cessna with your brother. What's that about?
So my brother is a pilot. He just finished his education, and so he's been like a private pilot for a while, but now he's a commercial pilot. So while he was still just flying private, yeah, we've been going out for quite a few flights.
What was it, just like for fun, circling around, or did you go fly somewhere, go grocery shopping, and fly back?
I wish I could like afford to fly to Albert Heijn or whatever to do grocery shopping, but I think that'll end up costing more than anything else. So it's basically just if I've had to go anywhere, like say I've gone to Copenhagen or something like that, it's a little bit more fun and easy to call your brother and pay the gas and go to Copenhagen. And sometimes it's just been for fun, but I mean you can't really take a one-engine plane to US. You'll be there in like 5 days, and you might not even make it over the Atlantic.
So only one guy ever did that. Charles Lindbergh probably. He didn't end up very well.
No.
Hey, back to you again. Another thing that struck me is a special life in your life. Your dog. Is it your dog?
Yeah, it is.
How can you be a DJ and have a dog? Because you're probably never at home.
Because I have good parents and a nice family, I think. So I try to bring him wherever I legally can. I don't want to like bring him on a plane or anything because I'd feel bad for him. But wherever I go anywhere, I try to bring him and just make him part of my life. I think he's my baby, and yeah, he having those kind of things around you, especially for someone like me who I don't live a very regular life. I don't have many responsibilities or things that I have to do, and my life is very, I guess, I'm kind of playing it by ear and taking one day at a time. But it's nice to have this one thing, which in my case is my dog, that is like kind of a regular thing. You have to feed him, you have to take him for walks. So yeah, it's nice. It grounds you a little bit.
Hey, of course you're from Denmark, but you're an international DJ. And of course right now, at the moment we're talking, there are some aspiring DJ somewhere in a country that people haven't heard of yet, and they want to be a professional DJ like yourself. Do you have any advice for those people? How can you pull it off?
Persistence, I guess, is key to anything. I think that there are really three major factors. One thing being obviously your music. Music is not everything in becoming successful with what you do. Like, unless you're completely this like savant guy who is like out of this world, you need to actually have more than just great music. I think it really comes down to going out of the way to meet people and get to know people, and try to like find other people who enjoy what you do and other people who like what you do, and just work together. I mean, there are strength in numbers. And then it's about persistence, which is just, about 10 years ago, I was like wishing I had more stuff to do, and I was wishing that I could, make a living with my music. And I've probably had the opportunity to give up a million times throughout that journey, but choosing not to, and like just hustling for one more month every time you want to give up is, I guess, a key to it as well. So just keep going, go out of your way to meet people, and of course practice and better yourself with your music. I mean, that's the key, I think, sort of universally.
It sounds, of course, very romantic, but there must have been some shitty times as well. I mean, like you say, I'm struggling. Like, do you have an example?
So right when I started out, when I dropped out of my education to do this, because I was at a weird point where I wasn't making enough money to make it work, but I was spending too much time to actually make my education work. So much to my parents' dismay, I dropped out, and I lived in like 5 to 10 square meters for I think a year and a half or something, and living on that little space in a tiny room and just getting by on like whatever like shitty gigs you can do it's terrible, especially once you start like meeting people and yeah. So my studio was my kitchen, was my bedroom, was my everything. And I mean, not knowing how you pay the bills the next day is difficult, but I think at the end of the day, if you go all out and if you really like take a chance on it, you'll make it work somehow.
Was the money stress worth it? What did you learn of it actually?
Saving.
I mean, of course, I mean, maybe it's like having stress over money is bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, completely. I don't stress over anything anymore, I think. So I was actually recently approached by by a large channel to do a TV show, and I think what they wanted to do was a bit sort of reality oriented, and they are not even sure that they would find it interesting to do the TV show at this point because I don't have enough problems. I'm not kidding. That was their actual response, that I don't have enough struggles that makes my life interesting. So I guess, I don't know, I think my life is interesting.
Maybe you should become an alcoholic or have a drug problem. And
yeah, I mean, or like, yeah, just pick up a bad
girlfriend.
Yeah, exactly. I think I put myself in a pretty stress-free position. I've just, somewhere along the way, I just chose, because for a very long time and a very long part of my life, I never knew, when would my next money come, and when would my next shows come, when would my next release be. And I guess I figured out if I had to like walk around and stress myself over that all the time, I would like end up dead somewhere from a heart attack. So I was like, okay, well, whatever. Fuck it, and I'm just gonna live one day at a time. And since I did that, everything has been working out. Knock on wood. And yeah, I mean, I'm not stressed about anything. I try to not get into any weird stress moments, like problems and whatever. If something is bothering me, it's like, okay, cool, whatever, like deal with it tomorrow. That's my philosophy, I guess.